here are some of the criticisms. This is not an exhaustive list. Okay, these are some of the criticisms against the design argument. First of all, it doesn't lead to God. A designer does not necessarily, it means a God. It just proves there's a designer. So how do you go from designer to God, right? That's the first thing. And just what Nuruddin highlighted us as well, that the nature of this argument is probable. There's no deductive. When we understand God, we understand God as an omnipotent, omniscient being, right? Now, and bear in mind that God could be a designer in the sense that he creates things. There's no doubt about that. But the question here is, how do you go from the designer to God, not God to designer? So you have a designer, but how did you land to God, which we identify as an entity that is all powerful, all omniscient, all knowing? How did you get to that, right? The second criticism is that this is susceptible to God of the gaps fallacy. Previously, certain tribes used to, certain civilizations used to allocate all sorts of explanations by resorting to God. Why is it raining? Why is it storming? Why is there thunder? God must be angry with us. Therefore, God did it, right? But now we know what's the cause of rain. It's because of certain physical chemistry stuff that happens in there. So, who's to say that we cannot have a scientific explanation for the design? What's the problem? Number 3, you can say that the universe is designed, but there are also serious problems with the design, right? There's a lot of death in the universe. There's a lot of waste in the universe. A lot of the universe seems to be empty, right? So if it's a design, it's a very bad design, right? So what kind of designer is that, right? Number 4, whenever we make things, whenever we look at design stuff, usually in a lot of human production, there are multiple designers. And as things get bigger in scale, we have definitely a team of designers or constructors or people working on it. Think of a building. One person doesn't make a building. A ship, one person doesn't make a ship. An airplane, one person doesn't make an airplane. Multiple people are involved, right? So when we say that there's a designer, how did you go to one designer, right? You just argued a designer at the very least, but how can you say there are not other designers as well, right? So these are 4 criticisms.